if you're graduating on June 30th of this year and you're like, oh no, it's like July 1st, I missed my opportunity to get the discount. You didn't. You have some time. And it's good that you have some time because this is an important decision to decide who you're going to trust with the disability insurance purchase and analysis process to make sure that you know what you're doing.
Welcome to the Physician Sense Podcast, a podcast designed specifically for physicians, offering a breakdown of complex financial topics to help you develop your financial IQ, further your financial journey, and improve your well-being. Whether you're a medical student, resident, fellow, or attending physician, you're sure to learn something new that will benefit your journey. And now, your hosts, Chad Chubb and Tyler Olson.
Hey all, welcome to our latest episode of Physician Sense. I'm your co-host, Tyler Olson, and I'm with my fair weather and rainy day friend, Chad Chubb. Good to see you, my friend.
Always a pleasure.
We love talking all topics personal finance, and we've got something that is time sensitive that we want to talk to you about today, and that is related to disability insurance decisions that graduating trainees need to make. I wanted to talk about this right now because, in short, the marketing that takes place that is directed toward physicians is very commonly threaded with disability insurance sales. No matter what the initial approach and mission of any given organization that is now marketing toward physicians, disability insurance gets a lot of attention for two reasons. One, it is really important to get the right kind. And two, it is very profitable to be in the business of selling disability insurance policies. So it makes sense. And you just have to know how to navigate it. And that's why you're getting those thousands of emails and newsletters and, someone that's stopping by in the hospital cafeteria, telling you like, hey, you need to get disability insurance. They're not wrong. But I wanted to take a moment to remind you all that any communication about how you need to get access to your disability insurance discounts while you're still in training, you have some time to think about it. Like, for example, there's the idea that you can get some discounts while you're in training, like in residency or fellowship. And this is guaranteed standard issue, GSI, policy related or not. There are discounts available to residents and fellows, and you should take advantage of it. But they don't expire on July 1st, which is today, the day that we're releasing this episode, right? I think it's coming out on July 1st. So any sort of marketing that is compelling you to be like, well, I got to do something right now, you have some time. And actually, I was just going to pull up the numbers again, because there is a range of time at which you have to make a decision. This is important, right, Chad? It's not just me.
No, this is important. And again, we don't get many timely episodes, but we said, hey, where our schedule was, this is perfect for this time of year. We also just had all of our great sponsors. I'd say really, I call them all gurus in the insurance space. And I feel like GSI is always a hot topic. So it's a time of year where this is vital advice. So I think we're right on it with this one.
Yeah. So if you're graduating on June 30th of this year, and you're like, oh no, it's like July 1st, I missed my opportunity to get the discount. You didn't. You have some time. And it's good that you have some time because this is an important decision to decide who you're going to trust with the disability insurance purchase and analysis process to make sure that you know what you're doing. And so for these discounts, you don't have to have decided by today. You have anywhere from 90 to 180 days after graduation to be able to capture these discounts. So you have some time. Take it. This is a really important decision. You do not need to jump on the first email that you got telling you that you better hurry up. You don't need to hurry up. Now, don't wait until the very last minute either, but say if you just got out of training, oh my goodness, there's so much going on. Take July, just do something else. First or second week of August, start to identify some of the really great disability insurance agents that are out there. At that point, you would still have at least 60 and possibly up to 170 days or not 100, 150 days to be able to make a decision. And so the main thing here is I want you all to take your time. A lot of marketing is designed to make doctors feel like they're missing out and they got to do something really fast. This is not one of those things. So if you read that, they either are lying to you or they're just trying to get you to they don't know they don't realize that the discounts extend that long. And that doesn't make them bad people, but it might make them ignorant and people that you shouldn't trust. So that's mainly what I wanted to say. What do you think? Am I being clear?
Well, I mean, if I just take out the timing part of it, right? I don't think that's breaking news, right? Sales is a thing of fear, right? Like for the most part, you're trying to sell a little bit of like time. Also, what's more terrifying than you just finishing all that training and then not actually being able to earn an income because of an injury or something of that nature? So I think that's all understandable. We'll label it as that. But Tyler's point is take a deep breath. We're okay. This is a big decision. Take some time, do some research. Now, the GSI, the guaranteed standard issue, if you've been a long time listener, right, you know that we think very highly of this policy. For some of you, it might be a once in a lifetime opportunity to get disability insurance. The other bad side of hurry, hurry, hurry is don't think that you have to go for a traditional policy, right? Don't forget that you have this GSI policy. If your program offers it, that's also important. If your program does not offer it, then kind of a moot point. But most programs these days do have these GSI policies. And timing of missing it could be a huge issue. Literally, a gentleman at the gym that works out, we work out at the same gym. He does the GSI policies for USF here in Tampa. And we were just talking about today on how many times a person they had the option to get a GSI, but for whatever reason, usually bad salesperson, right, got them into the traditional underwriting side. They got declined, and not only did they get declined, but now they won't go be able to get that GSI policy. So timing aside from it, the GSI is vital. I mean, it could be a once in a lifetime opportunity for many of you. Hopefully that's not the case, but as Larry said, right, the way that physicians think about underwriting is dramatically different than what an underwriter thinks about underwriting. And while you may not think like, oh, it's not a big deal. The underwriter could be like, no, it is a really big deal. Or, hey, we understand, but now, we want you to go do this and do this checkup, or we got to wait, 30, 60, 90 days to make sure that's not the case. And all of a sudden it gets really messy really quick. So the GSI is one that, anytime we talk to any resident or fellow program, we're always bringing this up on, hey, at least dip your toe in it. Again, the individual at the gym was just like, even if you get a smaller policy, just to get it in there and lock in your insurability is a huge win for many. So that would be my 2 cents on the GSI. And again, it's just that time of year. It's the busy season for disability agents because of ending training, but then also new trainees coming in, right? If you are coming out of medical school, this might be your first option to ever get a GSI policy, or maybe your residency program didn't have them, but your new fellowship program does. Or maybe you're leaving residency or fellowship and you got to get it, in before you get to an attending because you're not going to have this option as an attending outside of the windows that Tyler just noted there. I don't think you're overdoing it, Tyler. I think you're preaching a good word.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know I get really going on some things sometimes. On the note of timing too, with GSIs, you also tend to have anywhere from 62 to 180 days after graduation to capture your prior program's GSI access point. So make sure that you have confirmed whether or not your residency or fellowship program had such a GSI. I think this is something that we need to talk to Stephanie and Michael and Larry is a confirmation process. Be like, hey, does our program have one? Because there's so many programs out there. And it's always changing, usually increasing in number. You want to make sure that your program, if it has one or not. If it doesn't, then of course it's moot, like you mentioned, Chad. But if it is, then you need to get that GSI policy. And I say that in spite of what any purported professional might be telling you, that they're more expensive than traditional policies. No, they're not. Now, I'm not saying that they can't be more expensive, but it is not a rule that GSI policies are more expensive than non-GSI policies. See, there's something that's happening and probably just has been happening gradually over time and it's always happening in any field, is there's new kids on the block that would like to be able to participate in the process. And in the disability insurance world, it's not a big world at all. And so the access point for GSIs is established between the insurance companies and agents that have come to an agreement, not with the GME programs. That's why you often don't hear from them. They're like, oh, do you have a GSI? They're like, I don't know. And they do, but they don't even realize it. The office doesn't even realize it. And it's because they're not the ones that made the agreement. The insurance company and the insurance agent did. So if you're getting any communication that's telling you that you don't need a GSI because it's too expensive and it's limited in what it provides, you're probably getting that communication from an agency that does not have established relationships with the GSI network. And you know what it takes to get that? Gradual experience, building up good professional relationships. That is on them in order to build that network. And what they're doing instead is they're trying to say that it's not necessary for you so that they can make the sale to you and not invest in their professional network the way that they need to in the disability insurance space. That's just how it is. If you and it's not like there's any agent that has access to all the GSI programs. But the good ones, they'll tell you, they'll be like, yeah, I don't have access to that, but I know who does. Here is her phone number and her email address or whatever. So GSI, if your program has it, get it and then go from there. But you don't have to rush this. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the part that's often overlooked too, right? Like you can go get a GSI policy just to lock it in. And you can always switch to fully written policies later. To your point on how small the insurance world is, remember, there's only 5 disability companies that you would ever want to look at as a physician. And even on top of that, I believe there's only 3 that offer GSI policies, at least in a much larger audience. Guardian, which also sometimes people will label as Berkshire, Standard, and Emeritus. I believe there are 3 big players in GSIs.
Mm-hmm.
So even there, then, you only have 3 companies, and they're going to work with agents that are trusted and have a good reputation. Because this, like we just said, this is a huge profit margin. Can you imagine if all of a sudden one of those 3 providers there gets a bad reputation at a large hospital on how much they're losing there? So they're very picky to the point where, there's a lot of brokers that are literally labeled as blacklisted, right? They won't even let them talk about GSIs. They don't even let them ever offer these policies because of those issues. And, from my perspective, I've always thought of, when we're talking to clients, now clearly we're there to guide them, but like if we weren't there and we're just having a presentation to a group of 100 physicians, default to the GSI if you have that as your option. You need disability. Like that one thing we don't have to debate. Like you need disability insurance.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you're married, single, kids, right? You need disability because it's ensuring your future income for, the rest of your earning careers, right? Into your 60s, 70s years old, that it's vital. So that part you don't really have to argue. So that's why we'll always say, get a GSI policy. And then from there, you can always get a fully underwritten policy if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you now, like for a lot of you, your GSI policy could probably be your core policy for a while. Now, it depends on your specialty, right? And any side gigs and things of that. But for a lot of you, right? If you're just an academic W-2 physician and that's the route that you want to stay in, that core policy can probably grow with you for the rest of your career because they got to layer in what you get through your group benefits and all that. I guess, Tyler, from my side, I'm always just confused on like why this is still like a contentious point, right? I know why it is. But for you as the listener, right? Us talking to our physicians, like your first question should always be, do I have a GSI policy? Your GME might not know. From there, you're probably going to have to go to a very reputable source. I will clearly plug the 3 that are on our list. One, I've worked with Larry for many years. I know you've worked with Michael for many years. And I've only heard things for literally over a decade now on how great Stephanie and her team are. Because I know I can always reach out to a Larry or a Michael or a Stephanie and say, hey, does this program have a GSI? They do. I'm not it. But, here's Fred Smith, great guy. He'll help them. He'll be good. That's what you really want to see in that community, to find that GSI, lock that in. And then if you need to add something more sophisticated or you need to amp up some riders, then you can go get that. But if you miss that window, and when I say window, you're training plus some, right? Maybe out to 180 days. What you don't think is a blemish, an underwriter may think is a blemish, and you might not ever have that opportunity again. And now all of a sudden, it's a lot more pressing because now you are married. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. So now it's not income replacement. It's just allowing your family to survive. And we missed out on one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable insurance as a high income young professional.
Yep. That's why it's so important. So, all right. Well, yeah, we'll leave you all with that. Please.
It's an emergency podcast. It's a short one. We're getting out.
Yeah. Emergency fund, emergency podcasts. Use it or lose it. No. All right, Chad. Well,
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was good talking with you about this and all things. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you on the next episode, my friend.
This information is for general purposes only. This information is not intended to be a substitute for specific professional, financial, or tax advice, as individual concerns vary. Please see a financial professional, CPA, and/or an attorney in regards to your own individual situation. Wealth Heals Advisory Services and Financial Planning offered through Vicus Capital, Inc., a federally registered investment advisor. Olson Consulting, LLC, offering advisory services and financial planning, is a state-registered investment advisor.